It's great to be with you tonight. Voting is very important, but so are all other kinds of social and political action. So I'm going to leave a few Sierra Club cards, my business card with how to join Sierra Club. It's only $15 and hey, you get a free backpack with it. So not a bad deal. This is a global problem called climate change that really is incomparable to anything else we face. The estimates are 2 meters of sea rise, major increases in temperature, more storms than ever before, and we're already seeing this. We're already seeing this. 2 meters of sea rise, that's almost 7 feet of sea rise. Forget about Imperial Beach and Del Mar and Mission Beach and Ocean Beach. Gone. Gone. And all those people displaced. But worse than that, the displacement of people of color and poor people in the third world will be incredible. Atolls in the Pacific gone, underwater. Bangladesh with tens of millions of people gone, completely underwater. We're already seeing massive storms. We used to have one hurricane of the magnitude we just saw hit Puerto Rico about every 20 to 50 years. Now we have one of those kind of storms hit New Orleans or Texas or Haiti or Puerto Rico once about every year or so. Visit the coast of New Jersey, basically gone. An amusement park out at sea that used to be on the coast. Now it's a quarter mile off the coast. This is a result of large temperature-infused storms. So I'd like to read a poem. I downloaded a very brief one. But it points to the problem of climate change. It's by a poet who only has one name, Caroline. And the poem is titled Before. Before the world burned, cities vanished, water rose, and the air became too thick to breathe. It was a nice place, but to most, not nice enough to fight for. And I'll add, not nice enough to vote for. So it is very important. Your vote and the vote of your friends, very, very important. Sierra Club last year endorsed 48 environmental candidates here in San Diego County. We elected 42 of those candidates. We flipped city councils with the help of Labor and with the help of the Democratic Party and with the help of many other organizations. But Sierra Club is central because when people see that Sierra Club logo on the ballot, they know that's the seal of endorsement, that's the good housekeeping environmental seal for the best candidates. So we can influence tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of votes. And all over California, we got rid of Republican congressmen, climate deniers, and climate resistors, and replaced them with some very, very good candidates. But we still have a hell of a lot to do. This crisis is a huge one. If you can imagine, let me just frame it a couple of the kinds of problems. The Pentagon, the United States military, produced a report about 6 years ago on climate change. They said the #1 existential threat to the world and to the United States is not terrorism, it isn't Russia, it isn't China, it's climate change. It's climate change. Not only will the United States lose 9 bases that are located on coasts, but there will be hundreds of millions of climate refugees later on this century. Imagine, if you would, what a few refugees, and many of this from Central America are in fact climate refugees. Too hot to live where they live. Not enough employment. Gang-infested neighborhoods, with them fleeing northward to safety with their families. Look at what that has done, how it's skewed our political system, and how it's caused suffering on the part of those people. Think about what happened in Syria, with a few million people moving out of Syria, drowning at sea, suffering, stored in concentration camps, and then disrupting the political structure of Europe as right-wing groups that want to resist these immigrants, discriminate against them and build barriers. Hungary and Austria not allowing any immigrants. And other countries, right-wing parties getting more votes because of these strange people that are inhabiting it. Now, multiply that when Bangladesh and cities in Central and South America and Southeast Asia, when you've got hundreds of millions of people on the move. And you can see the existential threat to all of the world's people. And all the world's people are at risk, but the people most at risk here in America and around the world are poor people. Because poor people never live on top of the mountain. They never live up in the highlands. They don't have views of the entire city. They live in the river bottoms and on the coastlines and in swamps and in poor areas. And those are going to be the first to be inundated by sea rise. So many things to be concerned about. But what do? The answer is we have to act internationally and nationally first. The first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of this moron of a president, a person of low IQ and low moral character that has unfortunately been put in power here in the United States. Not with a majority of the vote, by the way, but with this quirk of the Electoral College. We got to flip those states. We got to get rid of it. When you listen to that Democratic debate, when you listen to Kamala, and you listen to Elizabeth, and you listen to Beto and the other people, these are visionary people. These are smart people. These are people who believe in science. These are people that will turn this around. It's not that climate change won't continue to occur, but it's going to occur much more slowly if the right people get back in office. Now, we at Sierra Club have tried to backfill against the Trump disaster by electing state and local officials that abide by the International Paris Climate Accord. So we have 17 governors, and we have now 140 mayors that have all signed on and say, we're going to produce less carbon, we're going to follow the climate accord. So we've let the national government do its horrible thing, but we've backfilled to protect America from producing more and more greenhouse gas. So that's what we can do nationally. We can elect a new president, we can elect a better Congress, certainly flip the United States Senate. These are important things to do. This is why your vote and your walk in precincts and your contributing money really, really matters. But then we can do things at even a more local level. The Sierra Club has several suits against the County Climate Action Plan. We've won 3 in a row in California Superior Court, in Appellate Court, and now a second time back in Superior Court. And the county's climate action plan does not go far enough. It reduced trips by automobile by 5% by 2030. That's nothing. That's nothing. We have to get off of oil almost entirely in the next 25 years. And all these communities I talked about in all these states have pledged to do that. That means no more gas guzzling engines. It means no more natural gas burning. This is what it's going to take, and it's doable. And it can create a whole new economy. More people work on building solar energy in just California than all the coal mining in the United States. There's not a choice between environment and jobs. The new economy is going to be environmental jobs, building windmills, building solar stations, building electric vehicles that can power America for the future without completely polluting the planet with toxic gas and air pollution. So there's many things we can do as individuals. We can try to drive less miles. We can bike to work once in a while. We can walk. We can take public transit. We can turn down the thermostat. I just replaced my old gas heater, because my water heater, because it was dying, with an electric heater. And tomorrow I'm going to testify before the San Diego City Council, who's adopting something called community choice energy. And that means we're not going to have to buy gas anymore, buy power anymore from or electricity from SDG&E. We can buy it from a number of clean energy companies. And the more we can electrify the country and then generate power with wind and solar and geothermal, we're going to get off of this addiction to petrochemicals and fossil fuels that is really on the verge of screwing up the planet in a big time. And it's not a future thing. We're already seeing it. Huge floods. I traveled through Missouri and Oklahoma last spring. It was a lake. There were no farmers' fields there. It was just a continuous lake because of the excess of rainfall. Big hurricanes hitting the coast of America and the Caribbean. Forest fires in California that come about because the climate's disrupted and we have prolonged droughts and increased heat. It was 114 in Redding, California this summer. That's crazy. They never had weather like that before. So what we can do individually, what we can do collectively is extremely important. And I ask you to join Sierra Club. I ask you to register to vote. I ask you to hunt out those environmental candidates that are going to make a big difference for the future of California, for the future of America, and for the future of the planet. Thank you so much.